Alright, so it's time to discuss this little localization problem we have with Nintendo right now. I had some people ask me to make a video about this Project Rainfall or Operation Rainfall thing for a while now. Just saw Shokio's video. He hit on a lot of points that I was going to address, so I'm going to take a different approach with this video. Pretty much with Nintendo right now, they could have prevented something that's been happening to Nintendo systems for the last couple generations, and that's called the Nintendo Drought. That's a period, the year or so between new systems, where there is absolutely hardly nothing new to play on the system. Now, with the Wii U coming out as early as next May or June or April, releasing these games, they could have totally prevented this. There would have been no Nintendo Drought on the Wii U, and it would have been perfect. But for some reason, they've decided to release this game everywhere besides their largest market, which makes absolutely no sense. And what also really doesn't make sense is that these games are already translated, at least a couple of them are already translated to English. They're already in English. There's no excuse not to release these games over here. Now I can see if they're like, oh well, due to cost and localization issues in the English translation, but they've already translated them to English. Which leads me to believe that at least one of these will actually come over here. I'm thinking it's going to be Xenoblade Chronicles. I think they'll probably, when they have their fall media conference around TGS, they'll probably announce at least one of these games are coming over here. But that's not enough. Like, they really need to release all three of those games over here. I mean, these games were in development for a long time, huge budgets. Like this, I mean, this isn't Captain Rainbow we're talking here. It's not even Disaster Day or Crisis. Like, these games are polished. They put a lot of time into it. They need to release these games in their largest market. I don't understand what kind of logic that is. Nintendo bought this company to make these kind of games for us, and then they're not going to release it in America, their largest market. They released both of these games on the GameCube, same company. Nintendo actually published this game. This was before they even bought the company. So these games will sell, but those games that look better than both of these games won't sell? Come on, Nintendo. There's no excuse. You can be the biggest Nintendo fan in the world, but if you think what's going on with this is okay, no. You're drifting into pyro territory there. Okay? And I know that's a territory that nobody wants to be in. There's no excuse for these games to not come over here. The translations are done. It's translated to English already. Like, what do they have to do? Other than region coding the games and putting a North America stamp on it instead of Europe, like, what is there to do? Nintendo is pretty much throwing away money. We want to buy these games. Why would you throw away money? It's not like Nintendo's broke. Nintendo's rolling in the dough, and releasing these games over here is just going to get them more dough. Isn't that the point of a business, to make money? They're throwing away money and pissing off loyal fans. Like, they're actually doing more harm than good by not, like, this is a win-win situation for Nintendo. The games are gonna sell because there's not gonna be nothing else on the system. Like, I'm not even a big RPG fan, but you know what? If those games came out, I'd give them a try. Just like I gave these games a try. Even though I'm not a big RPG fan, I gave them a try because I heard they were good. Period. Heard they were good, and especially this game came out at the end of GameCube's life cycle. And not many people bought this game, but it's a decent game. There's no excuse. None. It's not about if you're a true Nintendo fan and all that garbage. There's no excuse for them not to release these games over here. Period. I mean, I see that they're investing a lot into the 3DS, got the Wii U coming out. But what about the people that stuck by Nintendo on the Wii? What about those Wii only owners? Not everybody that owns a Wii owns a 3DS, which is obvious. So Nintendo can't expect people to be like, oh, well, it's fine because they're making games for the 3DS. If you don't have a 3DS, you're screwed on new games. Now you guys might say, well, there's plenty of Wii games out there to play and you can just replay them or catch up on some old ones. Okay. What about the people that bought these games when they were new and they're tired of them now? They want something new to play. What about those people? Those are the loyal customers. We buy games when they come out. We buy them when they come out and we play them. When new games come out, we buy those too and we play those. If there's nothing new coming out, there's nothing for us to play. Nintendo games don't have a focus on online, the majority of them. So once you play them, you replay them once or twice again, and then that's done. You might go back to them years later, months later, but people like having new games to play. Alright, now it would have been different if these games didn't exist. We didn't know about these games. But the fact that these games are done, they're completed, the work's done, and it just seems that Nintendo refuses to release these games over here. That's like a slap in the face to the hardcore Wii fan. Oh yeah, we have these 3 hardcore Wii games in development for years. We've been hyping them up, but guess what? You can't play them. Your brothers in Japan can play them. Your bros in Europe can play them, but you can't play them. And the only way we can play them is to illegally pirate our Wii or import a whole nother system to play these games that have already been translated to English. That's not fair. Especially when games, I saw some people, I think it was We Lover, brought up games like Odama and was it Chibi Robot? Okay. Those games were really niche compared to these games. Like, that's not even a comparison. And those games still came out over here. Odama looked like a piece of junk compared to those games. I'm be honest. I had no interest in Odama. What was that, a virtual pinball game? If I want to play pinball, I'll go to the bowling alley. These games look good. These are games I want to play. These are games Nintendo knows we all want to play. And the fact that there's thousands upon thousands of signatures and petitions, people are actually planning, was it for July 11th to picket? Like, this is a big deal. If that doesn't show Nintendo that people will buy these games, I don't know what will. And if they know we'll buy the games, why would they not release them? They don't, when you buy something, that means Nintendo gets money in return. So there's no reason for these to come out. You guys can make all the excuses that you want to why it shouldn't and why it doesn't make sense from a business standpoint, but it actually makes sense from every standpoint. These games need to come out, period.